Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Karibuni tena kwa channel yetu Masri Tutor. So today we are going to do this lesson on logarithms. So kindly stay tuned in. We'll be using a profit table mostly, and I think that's the main thing for logarithm tutor. So hopefully, before we continue, you need to know the things that you need to have before tackling any question on logarithm. Logarithm, we've already said, is the power. Is usually the power of a base of something, and the most basic rules that you should know is something called characteristic. Okay, characteristic. We also have Mantissa. So basically, whatever we're doing here, we're converting into logs. Okay, logs as in 10 power something, that power in the total. So given in multiplication, then also we need to know if it's multiplication, then we can do a log, itakuwa addition. So basically, that's something that you should know. For logarithm, the logs I usually add them. If it's division, then we usually subtract them. So that's the basic thing that you should know. So if someone might ask you what is the characteristic, so for example, let's take an example. If it's 1.5 plus 636, so you search for logarithm ya kitu, unapata ni 1.5636. So your 1 is usually your characteristic. So let's say bar 1. So bar 1 maanisha the negative is only on 1. So bar 1, okay. So usually the bar 1 is called the characteristics, and whatever follows the 0.5636 is usually the Mantissa. Now let's not waste time, and let's start tackling this type of question. Again, we'll be using the logarithm table and the anti-logarithm table. So those are two tables that we're going to use now for tackling such a question. So use logarithm to work out 7.237 multiplied to 0.003248. And before we continue, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it to your friends, and in case you want to commit yourself to study further, contact me as soon as possible for you to be added to the community WhatsApp group. So let's start. So you create a table. Probably my table is not that good. So you write a column of number, standard form, and also a column of logarithm. So under the number, you write the first number, which is 7.237. If you write the standard form, then basically it's written as 7.237 times 10 to the power of 0. Okay, so your characteristic is going to be the 0 point, because the power of the 10 is 0. So it's going to start with 0 point. And then we're going to search for the log of 7.237. So 7 is the antilog. 7.237. 7.237 is 7.2. Okay, 7.2, and then this is 3. And basically this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is 7. So 8591. Take 8591, add to 4. 8591, again 8591, add to 4, it's going to give you 8595. Okay, excuse me, just this is 9. So your answer is going to be 0.8595. Remember, this is not a reciprocal where you subtract it, so you're supposed to add here 8595. So that is that. Now let's go to the other one. So we've done with this, we're going to this. So this is 0.003248, and write it in standard form. So it's going to be written as 3.248 times 10 to the power of, just in case you didn't understand the powers important, then remember this is 3.248, therefore you need to go 3 times behind, and as a result your power is going to be negative. So negative 3. Okay, so your characteristic is going to be 3 point, and then let's search for the log of 3.248. 3.248. 3. This is 3.2. This is 4, and this is 8. So you're supposed to take 5105, add it to 10, which is going to be 5152. So 5152. Correct? Yes. After that, remember this is multiplication, but you said on the side of logarithm we're supposed to add, so we're supposed to add this. Now remember, it's better not to use a calculator when adding this, otherwise you might get confused and you might put this inside the calculator. So remember, this is not equivalent to the one that you're expecting, and it's not the same. So just mind you, prevent yourself from using a calculator and just add the way it should be added. So 5 plus 5 gives you 10, carry 1, and 9 plus 1 is 10, 8 plus 1, 11, 1 plus 5, 6, plus 1, 7, 8 plus 5 is 13, carry 1. Now remember, 1 is supposed to be added to negative 3, not 3, because the minus is on 3. So 1 plus minus 3, which is 1 minus 3 plus a negative, gives you negative. So it's going to be negative 2, in which it should be written as bar 2, not minus 2. Okay. Now remember, just like I've said, minus 2.3710, the negative is on all the numbers here. But if you write it like this, the negative is just on the two sides. Okay, so it's going to be this 8.371 0. So yes. Okay. Now the next thing that you're supposed to do, obviously, is now to convert that answer that you have through using anti-logarithm. So basically, you didn't find the answer, just found out the power of the 10. So it's supposed to be obviously 10 power 2.3710. So this one, you're supposed to write it this way. So put a u1, or you're going to divide it into 10 to the power of negative 2 times 10 to the power 0.3710. Okay. So now we'll go to the anti-logarithm table. And we said this is supposed to be 0.3710 and 0.3710. Again, this is 710. So you're supposed to take 2.350 add 1, which is going to be 2.351. So 2.351. So again, this is going to be 2.351 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 2, which automatically at the end of the day is going to be 0.0235. And that is the answer. So now let's go to the other question. Okay, this is another question. Same nature. So you can pause the video and just do it by yourself. So then write here number, standard form, and the logarithm side. So number, standard form, and log. Okay. Now the number here is supposed to be 0.746. Standard form 7.46 times 10 to the power of negative 1. So your characteristic is going to be power 1. For the other one, 0.003428, which is going to be 3.428 times 10 to the power of negative 3. So this is going to be bar 3 parts. Now let's search for the log for 7.46, which is 7.4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6. 7.46 gives you 8727. So 8727. For 3.428, search for 3.428. This is 3.4, and this is 2, and this is 8. So it's supposed to take 5340 add to 10, which is 5350. Remember, 40 plus 10 gives you 50, so automatically you're going to get 5350. So remember, 5340 add 10 gives you 5350. The next step, obviously, since this is multiplication, you're supposed to add the logs. So let's add the logs. So if you take 7 plus 0, it's going to be 7 2 plus 5, 7, 7 plus 3, 10, carry 1, 8 plus 1, 9, 9 plus 4, 9 plus 5 is 14, carry 1. Now remember 1 minus 1, or 1 plus minus 1 is just 0, and 0 plus minus 3 is minus 3, so therefore it is going to be 3. Okay. The next step, obviously, we discussed, you're going to do the anti-logarithm, which is going to be 10 power negative 3 times 10 to the power 0.4077. Okay. So, let's search for the antilog of 0.4077. 0.4, this is the antilog table for 0, 7, and 7. So we're supposed to take 2.553, add to 4, which gives you 2.557. So 2.557. Am I correct here? So multiply to 10 to the power negative 3. So remember, 2.557 tunapeleka nyuma mara tatu, and therefore it's going to give you 0.00257. So therefore this is your answer. Now what if is division? So say division is going to be subtraction. So remember, this is the number, this is the standard form, and this is the logarithm. So basically we're going to do 457.1, write it in standard form. It's going to give you 4.571 times 10 to the power of 2. What about 370? 370 is going to be 3.70 times 10 to the power of 2. So because these are numbers that are greater than 10, 9.99. So obviously the powers are going to be positive. So the log, obviously characteristic is going to start with 2. Obviously here is also going to start with 2. Now what we need to do, simple, let's search for the log of 4.571. So 4.57, this is obviously, this is 7 and 1. So 6599 add to 1. 6599 add to 1. Obviously 9 plus 1. So we're going to give you 66000. 6600. What about 3.7? 3.7, 0, just this, 0.5682. 0.5682. Now since this is division, this is going to be subtraction. So we're going to subtract. So 0 cannot be subtracted to 2, or 2 cannot be subtracted to from 4, from 0. So it means 4 under 6. So yeah, so since also that 0 doesn't have any number, is going to go from 6, and since it's 1 from the other 0, it's going to go with 1. So 10 minus 6 is going to give you 8, 9 minus 8 is 1. 5 also needs to go from 6, 15 minus 6 is going to give you 9, 5 minus 5 is 0, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So obviously the anti-logarithm of only 0.0918. 0.0918, which is this one, 0, 9, 1, and 8. So we're 1.233 add 2, so it's going to be 1.235. So the final answer is 1.235. Is it add? No. Now let's try another question where you can do it and pause the video. Okay, now let's try this one. Also the same principle, but now I think this one is going to be a little bit different. So just stay tuned. So if you post, then good. Now this is the number 0.1435. This is 2.569. So your standard form here is going to be 1.435 times 10 to the power negative 1. In the standard form for this one, obviously 2.569 times 10 to the power 0. The reason why I'm writing 10 to the power 0 is because 10 power 0 is 1. So if you just multiply to 2.569, you just get the same number. Now, let's start with the characteristic being bar 1 and the characteristic here being 0. Now let's start searching for the log of 1.435. So the antilog, the log is going to be 1.43 and 5. So it's going to be 1553 to 15. 1553 at 15 is going to give you 1568. So yeah, is it hard? No. Now for the other one, 2.569, 2.5 already shown, and then we have 6, okay, and then we have 9. So 4082 added to 15. 4082 add 15, it's going to give you 4097. So now we need to subtract. So remember, this is division, so we're going to subtract. So now if we subtract 8 minus 7 gives 1, 6 cannot, so we need to go from 5. So 16 minus 9 will give you 7. 4 minus 0 is 4. Now 1 cannot be subtracted to 4, therefore we need to borrow from someone who is deficient. So remember, if you borrow from a negative, if you subtract it, since minus 1, obviously is going to be negative 2. So hopefully that is understandable. If someone is negative, if you borrow from him, it is just going to borrow from someone else as well. So again, it's going to be bar 2. Let me show it here. So this is bar 2 instead of bar 1. And then bar 2 minus 0, 11 minus 4 is going to give you 6, 7. And then bar 2 minus 0 is going to give you bar 2. Now let's search for the antilog. So this is going to give you 10 to the power of negative 2 times 10 to the power of 0.7471. So let's search for 0.7471, which is just here 7, 4. This is 7, 1. So 5.585 add 1 is going to give you 5.586. So 5.586. Again, this is going to be 5.586 multiplied to the 10 power of negative 2. At the end of the day, it's going to be 0.0586. So that is your answer. Let me just write it here. Yeah, that is your answer. Okay, now this question. Use a logarithm to work out 0.2175 raised to the power 4. Again, this is a different concept, but we use the same table. So this is number. This is 0.2175. Now we say if it's multiplication, the logs should be added. If it's division, we subtract. If you have a power, so this is going to be the concept of powers, which is saying on the indices, if you have 2 powers, what do you normally do? You multiply those 2 powers. So under here, we are going to multiply whatever log that we got is going to be multiplied to 4. So standard form. You write 2.175 times 10 to the power of negative 1, characteristic being power 1 point, then search for the log of 2.175. Okay, 2.17 and 5. So this is going to be 3365 at 10, so it's going to be 3375. So 3375. So have we done? No, we forgot to 4. So we need to multiply this to 4. Okay. So when you're multiplying such a thing, you need to multiply the bar to the 4 and also the Mantissa to the 4. So it's supposed to take bar 1 times 4. Also 0.337 multiplied to 4. So bar 1 times 4 is going to give you bar 4, and obviously 0.3375 times 4 is going to give you 1.35. Okay, now we have a bar 4 and a 1. So if you take minus 4 add to 1, it's going to give you minus 3. So it's going to be bar 3 point, the decimal just remain the same, 3.35. So again, it's going to be written as 10 power negative 3 when searching for the antilog times 10 power 0.35. Now let's search for the antilog of 0.35. 0.35. This is 0.35, which is 2.239. So 2.239 times 10 to the power negative 3, and your final answer is going to give you 0.3 times. It's going to be 0.00229. So your final answer is 0.00229. So that is your answer. Okay, now let's go another similar question. What if you have a question like this? So this being the number standard form and the log. Remember, anything which is the root or cube root, basically you write this way. Okay, because it's, I think we've studied about indices. So if you have a root, basically it's a fraction, the power is usually a fraction. So if it's cube root, it's power 5. If it's square root, then basically it's power half. If it's the fifth root, power 1 over 5. So the number, so at the end of the day, you're going to multiply by 1 over 3. So the number is 0.5497. The standard form is going to be 5.497 times 10 to the power negative 1. Okay, so logarithm 1 point. So that's the trickiest part now. Let's search for the log 5.497. 5.497. 5.4. This is 5.4. This is 9, and this is 7. So you're supposed to take 7396 add to 6. 7396. If you add to 6, it's going to give you 7402. 7402. Now that answer that we have is supposed to be multiplied by that. Now this is the trickiest part in which you need to concentrate with me. Now when multiplying by that, it's just simply saying that number you're dividing it by 3. So basically you're taking bar 1 divided by 3, and then also the 0.7402 divided by 3. But now since bar 1 will not be divided by 3 because it's going to be the remainder, we're thinking of a number that is a multiple of 3. So basically 3, 6, 9, those are multiples of 3. So what do we normally do then? So normally we subtract 2 to give you now bar 3, and then you add 2 here to give you now 2.7402. So here it's not going to be it's going to be 2 points, and here it's going to be bar. So hopefully I'm understood. So instead of writing bar 1, subtract 2 is going to be bar 3, and instead of writing 0.7402, we're going to add 2 to be 2.7402. So you divide by 3. Okay, so I did that already. So bar 3 divide by 3, that's going to give you bar 1 and 2.7402. Divide by 3 is going to give you 0.9134. 0.913, and for now I'm just using my calculator to get those answers, but you're supposed to divide it the long way. Okay, but because of time, I'm writing the answers as fast as possible. So you get 10 to the power of negative 1 times 10 to the power of 0.9134. So again, what do you do afterwards? Right. Now let's search for the antilog of 0.9134. 0.9134, which is this one, 3 and 4. So 8.185 add 8. 8.185 add 8 is going to give you 8.193. So basically, what we're saying is we're going to get 8.193 multiplied to 10 to the power of negative 1, and the final answer is going to be 0.8193. Now, how about the other one then? So you do the same thing. So number, now we have standard form, that, and our standard form of logo, and then we have the logarithm. Then the number is basically 29.78, standard form 2.978 times 10 to the power of 1. So your characteristic is going to be not bar, it's supposed to be 1 point. So what's the log of 2.978? 2.978, which is here, 2.9, and then we have 7, and then we have 8. So 4728 plus 4728 plus 12 is going to give you 4740. So 4740. So this one you're supposed to multiply to a half. Now dealing with this one is quite easy than the one which is above. So just divide it directly. So 1.4740 divided by 2, which is going to be 0.737. 0.737. So you ask yourself, what's 10 power 0.737? 0.737. There's 7, 3, and then we have 7. So we're going to use 5.458. So 5.458 is your final answer. Okay, now let's try this question out again. So again, it's much easier. So pause the video and do it by yourself. So number, standard form, and logarithm. So number obviously 0.05096. The standard form is going to be used 5.096 times 10 to the power of negative 2. So log 2.8 is how much? So 5.096, 5.096, which is here 5.09, what is here 9 and 6. So 7067 plus 5, 7067, 7067 plus 5 is going to give you 7072. So 0.6072. Again, we need to multiply because it's power 1 over 5. So we need to multiply to 1 over 5. So again, this is part 2. So it means that we're going to add this. So we need to minus it by 3 so that you can get part 5 and add 3 here. So this is going to give you part 5. And the other one is going to give you 3.6072 divided by 5. Divide by 5. So the reason why I'm doing it to be bar 5 is so that the number can be divisible by 5. So obviously this is going to give you bar 1 point and 3.6072 divided by 5 is going to give you 0.721 over 7.721. 0.721.214. So again, we write 10 power negative 1 times 10 to the power 0.7214. Now let's search for 0.7214, 0.72, choose this, and that is supposed to be 7.73144. So 212, yeah, just 7.21 is not the value in writing a lot of things. So 7.721 and then 4. So we're supposed to take 5.260 add 5, which is going to give you 5.265. So 5.265 times 10 to the power negative 1, and your final answer is going to be 0.526. Now let's head to the last question to take. Okay, now use logarithm to work out. This is a combined thing, includes multiplication, division, and powers. So yeah, so let's fill this into minutes. Let's start. So obviously, again, this is, you have to remember the standard form and the logarithm, obviously. So what we're going to do is go step by step. The first number that you see is 0.2153, and I remember it's squared. So the standard form, it's going to be 2.153 times 10 to the power negative 1. So this one is going to be by 1 point. Let's search for 2.153. 2.153, 2 points again, 2.1, and then we have 2.1, 5, and then we have 3. So 3, 3, 2, 4 plus 6 is going to be 3, 3, 3, 0. So this is going to be 3, 3, 3, 0. Right, we add 2, oh, I'm not mistaken. Add 6 to it. Okay, so that's one thing done. The other one is 1.349. So 1.349, which is 1.349 times 10 to the power of 0. So it's supposed to say 0 point. And then the log for 1.349. 1.3, 1.3, then we have 4, and then we have 9, the 9 is here. So add 30. So 1271.1271 plus 30. Let's just 1271 add 30 is going to give you 1301. So 0.1301. So that's multiplication. Since this is multiplication, obviously, we forward something, right? Yeah, forward a very important thing, which is this one. We forward to multiply this by 2. So this was supposed to be multiplied to 2. So bar 1.3330 multiplied to 2. So bar 1 times 2. Also the 0.3330 multiplied to 2. So this one is going to be bar 2. 0.3330 times 2 going to give you 0.666. So this is 0.666. 6. So the final answer to this one is going to be 0.2.666. Let me just write this here. I'm going to write this one here. The answer to this is 2.866. Let me just write it here so that it doesn't confuse us at all. Okay, so that's one done. After that, let's put another one. So after that, we're supposed to add that thing, the two things here. So because in multiplication, add these two up before you go to the one below. So if you add this, 6 plus 1 is going to be 7, 6. Okay, am I correct? No, I'm not correct. So remember this is 0. So 0 plus 1 is going to give you 1. 6 plus 0, 6 plus 3 is 9. 6 plus 1, 7. So it's going to be 2.7961. The next one is 0.00548. 0.00548. Standard form 5.48 times 10 to the power of negative 3. So it's going to be by 3 points. So let's start log for 5.48. 5.48 is 5.4 and 8 is going to be 7388. 7388. Now the answer that you got after adding and the answer that you got for down one, you subtract them. So let's subtract this with this. So then 11 to borrow 1 from 6 to give you 5. 5 also borrow 8 from 9 to give you 8. 11 minus 8 is 3. 50 minus 8 is 7. 8 minus 3 is 5. 7 minus 7 is 0. Again, this is direct marks calculation. So bar 2 minus bar 3, which is the same as saying minus 2 minus negative 3. Since the two minuses are going to be plus 3. So minus 2 plus 3 is going to give you 1. Okay. Very easy calculation, but somehow tricky if you're not very keen. So this is 1.0. So 1 bar 2 minus bar 3. So this one gives you 1.0573. But is that the final answer? Remember, it was the power 4. So whatever answer that you get after dividing, the answer you do power 1 over 4 because of the fourth root. So power 1 over 4. So multiply to 1 over 4. So this is somehow easy, not that hard. So let's just do 1.0573 divided by 4 to give you 0.264. 0.264. So 0.2643, and then Antilog 10 power 0.2643. 0.2643. 2643. So we have 1.837 and 1.838. So it's going to be 1.838 as our final answer. Let me confirm again to see if I'm correct. Yeah, 2643. Correct. So hopefully you've understood how it's done, and I think you found the section quite key. That is the answer, 1.838. Again, don't forget to subscribe. And also at the end of the video you might find playlists in case you missed other classes. You have the playlist there at the end of the video, or you find it in the description box. But just wait for the end and you'll find all the playlists there. So my just is to write down students. If you know of any Form 4 students, came to me. We'll have a holiday session with the Form 4s very soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.